Welcome to another edition of Sunday School Nation 2020. I'm your host, Ken Jones. This week's lesson, Wisdom's Vindication. Matthew chapter 11, verses 7 through 19. Our lesson aimed for change. By the end of the lesson, we will explain how the different actions of Jesus and John the Baptist both displayed divine wisdom, feel encouraged to behave in ways that follow Jesus even when they are contrary to people's expectation, and review our own behavior to determine whether it will reflect godly wisdom. When Janice entered the employees' lounge, she found Diane, Holly, and Anitra already there. She went to the staff lounge and poured herself a cup as the other three discussed Rachel, the new supervisor. Rachel joined only 6 months ago after Kathleen left. Janice tried to stay out of office gossip, so she sat down, sipped her cup, and opened her Bible to do a bit of study. But she couldn't help but overhear her co-workers making one put down after another about Rachel's demeanor and competence. She decided to speak up. What's so bad about Rachel? Diane said, she comes here acting like she's our friend, but when I asked her for last Friday off, she gave me nothing but static. Come on, Diane, Janice said. You know the last Friday of the month is crunch time. You've been here long enough to know no one was going to get that day off, especially after Kathleen let Holly and Anitra out on the same day last quarter. It's not like Kathleen was any prize, Holly chimed in. She didn't know how to speak to people, calling me by my first name as though she's my best friend. Exasperated, Janice said, wait a minute, just what do you want? Somebody to be mean and boss us around and yell at us? Rachel's our supervisor, and we should respect that. Then Janice went back to work. Spreading gossip reflects poorly on the people who spread it. How do we close our ears and heart to it when it's spread? When should we speak up? When Janice entered Matthew chapter 11, beginning at the 7th verse. As John's disciples were leaving, Jesus began talking about him to the crowds. What kind of man did you go into the wilderness to see? Was he a weak reed, swayed by every breath of wind? Or were you expecting to see a man dressed in expensive clothes? No, people with expensive clothes live in palaces. Were you looking for a prophet? Yes, and he is more than a prophet. John is the man to whom the scriptures refer when they say, look, I am sending my messenger ahead of you, and he will prepare your way before you. I tell you the truth, of all who have ever lived, none is greater than John the Baptist. Yet even the least person in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he is. And from the time John the Baptist began preaching until now, the kingdom of heaven has been forcefully advancing, and violent people are attacking it. For before John came, all the prophets and the law of Moses looked forward to this present time. And if you are willing to accept what I say, he is Elijah, the one the prophets said would come. Anyone with ears to hear should listen and understand. To what can I compare this generation? It is like children playing a game in the public square. They complain to their friends. We played wedding songs and you didn't dance. So we played funeral songs and you didn't mourn. For John didn't spend his time eating and drinking, and you say he's possessed by a demon. The Son of Man, on the other hand, feasts and drinks, and you say he's a glutton and a drunkard, and a friend of tax collectors and other sinners. But wisdom is shown to be right by its results.